What's up guys, welcome back to Saint Seiya Awakening and to the next of our S-Saint reviews. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite characters and one of the best Saints to start the game off with. It's MILO the Scorpio, but first I'm also going to answer a couple of the questions that I've been seeing on the channel lately a lot. If you want to change the character that's displayed here on your main screen, then just tap on him, hold for a second, and you'll get this Replace Captain option. If you want to change your picture or the frame around your picture, then just click here on the top left corner, click in the middle to change the picture, and then click Change Frame to change your frame. If you change the skin on one of your characters, like for example me with little Mexican Kiki, all you have to do is come here to the little info button, skins on the right, and here you can select from whatever you want. Regarding summons, a lot of people are a little bit frustrated with the rates at the beginning of the game. They haven't been able to get an S character, and I don't know if this is confirmed for the global version. This is the way that it was on the SEA version, but they only announced it on their Facebook like a month after the game was already accessible. On that version, at the start of the game, if you did 20 advanced summon without getting an S, you were guaranteed to get an S from the next one, okay? Advanced summons, not banner summons. Remember, these two are different things. So 20 advanced summons and you're supposed to get an S guaranteed. Again, this is not confirmed, so please don't quote me on it. This is what they posted on their Facebook page for the SEA version a while back. Hopefully it's the same here on Global. Also some good news for our English speakers and our people in Asia and Southeast Asia that we've been playing the game with that started with all support for the channel. I jumped back on the SEA version today. I will be maintaining that account, probably playing it mostly on auto, but I'm still going to be getting some progression. I'm still going to try to get the new Saints so we can check them out. Any new content, I did a little bit of 8th Sense today, which I hadn't touched. We were able to get Poseidon way up there, so there'll be some more of that content coming soon. Worry not, my friends. Alright, let's get started with Scorpio. Let's get down to business. What makes this guy special and why is he so good to start in the new version, but is also good in the long run? This is not one of those Saints that you're going to use and then completely forget about. He's got a few things that make him special. The first one being, and I think the most important, is that he's one of the few Saints in the game that can do massive damage without using any energy at all. If you notice, he's got 2 passives, 2 attacks, and his 2 attacks don't use any energy. He can also decrease the target's defense, thus improving his own damage and the damage that your whole party does. And he also has the fun factor in that there is some RNG involved in using him, right? He has a chance to attack more than once when he moves, but this only starts at a 70% chance and goes to 87 on max skill ups, which is pretty close to guaranteed, but still not guaranteed. So when we use MILO, when we use Scorpio, there's always that feeling when you click attack, there's always that feeling, you cross your fingers and you kind of hope that he procs, because when he does, he's basically guaranteed to annihilate the enemy that he attacked. Now let's go over his individual skills in detail. In the first one, like most other Saints in the game, he's got a simple single target attack. It starts at 100% damage multiplier, goes up to 120. On his second one, he has the Scarlet Cyclone, which is basically a charge. He needs to charge up his attack for 1 round or 1 movement, and then on the following one, he can free that attack, he can execute it, and do massive damage. When you release that charged attack, there is, like I mentioned, a chance that he will attack more than once, up to, I don't know if there's a limit, if there's 3 or if there's more than 3. Sometimes it looks like he attacks 5 times, but it may just be my imagination because I really like using him. So on his second skill, that's part of his second skill, is the additional attack proc chance. The third is a passive that applies to both skills. He decreases the target's defense. It starts by 2, and then you can skill it up all the way to 6. But because he attacks several times in the same turn, you can actually stack this a lot more quickly than usual, right? You could end up hitting 3 times and thus starting to decrease the target's defense by 6% on the first move. The fourth is also a passive, and what makes him so amazing. Alright, so the first attack, once he's charged up, right, he's got his glowing finger of doom. On the first attack, it's a normal attack. It's going to do the regular damage, no big deal. On the second one, he's going to do an additional 50% damage, which is already a pretty decent multiplier. On the third one though, if he manages to proc 3 times, the multiplier goes up to a whopping 390%. It starts there. It can actually go up all the way to 470, which is a ridiculous amount of damage. There's very few things that can actually survive that. Somebody just followed, so we heard the notification, even though we're not live. So this is what makes him crazy. When you proc that third attack on the same move and you get that 390% multiplier, it's insane. It's awesome to see. It's very fun, and you always cross your fingers and pray that it happens. If you happen to pull some duplicates, if you get more than 1 MILO, then you have a choice to make. You can either upgrade the second skill to have a higher probability of getting an additional attack, or you can upgrade his fourth, his passive, to maximize the damage he does when he actually procs. Now remember, if he doesn't proc extra attacks, then these multipliers don't apply. these are only for the second and third attack. So on the SCA version, I pulled 5800 MILOs, and I went with this one because I want to increase the chances of getting those additional attacks. You could also go 1-on-1 and kind of level them up hand in hand. It's totally up to you. Both are perfectly acceptable options. Speaking of skill ups, I explained in the big guide that we did a while ago, I explained that you use these blue skill tomes to level up the abilities on your saints. However, there's something I want to mention here. Further down the line, we're going to have the release of double S saints, such as Poseidon. He was the first one on SCA, and he'll probably be the first one here as well. Those guys, especially him, Poseidon, require an enormous amount of skill tomes in order to make them work. Because for double S characters, you need to combine two of these blue tomes into one green one, and with that you can upgrade one skill. So for each skill up on Poseidon, you need 2 blue tomes. For this reason, I usually recommend saving all of your skill tomes until we get to that point and we get those characters, because it's a lot more likely that you pull a dupe MILO and then you can skill him up that way. It's a lot more likely than pulling a dupe Poseidon, right? So if you want some immediate progression, if you want to get ahead right now and you want to use your books to skill these guys up, perfectly fine. I did it on SCA, I don't regret it, I got some progression. Or if you want to go hard for Poseidon and make the best of him, then definitely save your tomes and use them at that point. Alright, enough of skill tomes. How do we use MILO in the game? As I explained, he needs 1 turn to charge up his Scarlet Needle and a 2nd turn to release it. That's why his best friend in the entire game is Sexton's Luna. With Luna's 2nd ability, we can give any character 2 turns. This works amazingly well with MILO and also with Aldebaran, with Taurus, because they need to charge and then release. So if you give him 2 turns with Luna, they can do that in the same round. He is a bit on the squishy side, his HP and his defense are pretty subpar, so pair him with somebody that can give him some protection, whether that be Saori if you're lucky enough to pull her, or you can go with Juna. Juna is one of the most amazing and useful saints in the entire game because of her Vine ability, which distributes damage among your whole party, right? So instead of getting nuked by one character in turn 1, she distributes that damage to all the characters, so everybody takes a little bit of damage, but nobody dies. You can also use him with data loss to steal the enemy's attack and give it to him. You can use him with Seiya to increase the damage. Nachi does not work very well with him because Nachi's buff only lasts for 1 turn. And remember, MILO needs to charge for 1 turn and then attack. So he's going to have the buff, he's going to charge, and by the time the 2nd turn comes and he moves to attack, then the buff will already be gone. One thing I'll mention, and that confuses a lot of people the first time it happens to them, is this double turn mechanic, right? So what Luna does is she puts a buff on your unit that you gave the double turn to, right? It's like this little prayer hand, the one right here on the skill. If that unit that you gave the double turn to is debuffed in any way before their turn comes, then they lose that double turn, right? So let's use, for example, we give MILO the double turn and then an enemy Camus moves and puts a little ice seal on Scorpio. That double turn is cancelled. He will only be able to move once. Keep this in mind. It's also very good against people that use Luna. If they have a Luna with a character that uses the double turn mechanic like MILO or Aldebaran, you can cancel that double turn by just debuffing that unit. MILO can be useful in PvP, in PvE, and he will be especially useful when this Legion boss finally opens. We already have it available, but we can't fight it. The content has not been released yet. When that time comes, his defense break is huge to increase the damage you can do on this guy. And when he procs 3 turns, the damage he does is massive. Actually, it's so massive, he ends up killing himself, because this boss, once we get to it, you'll have a lot of fun with this guy. He reflects damage. For every little bit of damage that you do, he reflects some of that damage back to you. MILO does so much damage that he actually explodes into a ball of fire whenever he procs his abilities and gets all of the damage he can do. As far as Cosmo, he is not a complicated guy. This guy is pretty straightforward. He likes to attack, he likes to kill, he likes to proc. In the red Cosmo, or Solar, you're going to want to have either P-Stone or Fire Drop. P-Stone gives you 2 hits of P-Attack, or physical attack, and some defense, while Fire Drop gives you P-Attack, a little bit of HP, which is not bad on him, and some P-Crit effect. We're going to talk about these things in just a second. On Lunar, you really just want to put as much life as you can on him. Go with Tenacity or Bloom. They both give you a double HP hit. One gives you physical defense, the other one gives you Cosmo defense. He doesn't benefit from Seiya that much because his defense break is 100% proc rate. He doesn't need any status hit, any additional status hit, so don't really go with this one. Even though it has a double HP, you're much better off going with these and some defense. On Star, without a doubt, the number 1 is Staunch. This increases your P-Crit level. Okay, so while we're here, let's discuss what are the stats we want on physical attackers. On physical attackers, we have three things. We have the physical attack, which is this one up here. He is an S rank, meaning it's very high, but also importantly, we have physical crit level and physical crit effect. The crit level are the chances he has of actually executing a critical attack. In most games, this is a percentage. Here in this game, they just went with some arbitrary number like minus 473. What the heck does that mean? Some people have said before, people that have experience from the Chinese server, that in order to get 100% crit rate, you need 2,000 here, which is basically impossible to reach. The highest I got on SCA server, which I played for over 3 months, is like 1100, right? So just aim as high as you can. If you can't get it to 2000, don't worry, I don't think anybody can. P crit effect is the multiplier on that critical. Okay, so if a regular hit does 10,000 damage and you have 40% P crit effect, that 40% is calculated on the 10,000 damage, and you end up getting 14,000 when you crit. For Legendary Cosmo, there are several valid options. I ended up going with Vulcan Chain because Vulcan Chain increases the damage you do at the start of the fight, right? If somebody has over 70% HP, which everybody does at the start of the fight, you do an additional 40% damage, which is great for killing targets in one move, right? That's what makes MILO so crazy. Whenever he procs at the start of the fight, you can eliminate someone in one single move. On the other hand, you have King Giant, which works the opposite way. So anybody that is below 40% HP, you get a 60% damage multiplier. This is really good against some bosses that take several days to beat. At the beginning of the fight, you may want to have Vulcan Chain because they have high HP, and then towards the end of the fight, once they get below 40% HP, you can amplify your damage by switching over to King Giant. Daffodil is not a bad option either. For every 1% of HP that you lose, you get 1% more physical attack. So if you're already halfway down to dying, you get 50% more attack. A good last option is Kingfisher. When you land a critical strike with Kingfisher, there's a 70% chance that you'll do true damage. True damage means that you ignore the enemy's defense, thus doing a lot more damage because your attack doesn't get reduced by their defense. Because MILO attacks several times, there's a chance that he could proc this in at least one of those hits and get a lot more damage. Alright guys, enough talking, let's see MILO in action. We're gonna come here to the Saint Arena, I'm gonna spend some crystals. I've done a lot of fights today, but it doesn't matter. I'll spend some crystals because I was trying to rank up. We're at rank 28. We're gonna fight this guy who's ranked 27. What is he running? He's got a Pisces, he's got a Seiya. Oh shit, he's got a lot of stuff going on. Let's try to fight him and see what happens. We're gonna bring MILO as the only damage dealer and see if he can solo this. Obviously, it would be a lot safer if I brought Pisces. It would be pretty much a guaranteed win, but we're gonna risk it for the biscuit. We're gonna run this team so that we can silence enemy Juna and we can prevent her Vine from coming up. That way, hopefully, our MILO can kill something first turn. If we can't kill something first turn, this is gonna get really hairy. I want to get rid of this data loss ASAP, right? He's got attackers, but that's actually not what I'm the most concerned about. If this data loss debuffs my Scorpio, I will lose the double turn. Watch, he goes for it. What an asshole. Now, because I was debuffed by this guy, I will not get the double turn. Wait, I do. Is that because data loss doesn't actually debuff, he just steals? I mean, even though the debuff shows up here, if it was a true debuff, I should have lost my double turn, but I didn't. I still got it. So I think what happens is, this just signifies that he stole some of your attack, but it's not an actual debuff. Good to know. There you go. You learn something every day. Oh my god, only one proc. Oh, I don't know if this is going to work with only one damage to do. We may regret this pretty soon, because we would need a lot of Scorpio procs here in order to take this guy down. I'm going to keep silencing this guy. He got defense break on my silence girl, which is pretty concerning. Who is this data loss going to steal from now? Is he going to keep attack breaking my... Yes, he is. I don't think we're ever going to kill this. Every time he does that, I get weaker. I get weaker and weaker. If we can't kill him soon, we can't win this fight. No proc, bro. What do you mean? Oh, this is the problem with MILO, okay? Remember I mentioned RNG. He could proc and do miracles, or he could do absolutely nothing. That's 2 turns in a row that he hasn't procced even once. Single attack every time. Now this turn I'm gonna be even weaker. We need to kill this guy right meow. Right meow. He went for Marine this time, which is actually better for me at this point. I need to kill this guy. If we kill data loss, we get all of our attack back. Let's go, baby. That's how you do it. There's the MILO proc. That's what we wanted. And now the fight becomes a tiny bit easier. We're not out of the woods yet, though. This Pisces is really dangerous. Right? As the fight goes longer, he has more and more energy available at the end of every round, and he can do more and more attacks and stack these roses and end up killing. So I'm kind of hoping we get procs here again. and that we can one-shot. We can one-shot this Pisces with some good MILO procs. Let's go, MILO, baby. Come on, it's your showcase. It's your time to shine. Show people how good you are. Ah, shit, only 2. And he's already back to full health, because that's what Pisces does. That's what he does. He attacks, he absorbs, he defense breaks, he stacks roses, he steals your shit. He is an asshole. But no matter, I think we can prevail here. Come on, MILO. Come on, you did the hardest part, which was killing data loss. Come on, 3 attacks, we got it. Ooh, I don't even know if we hit 3 attacks or not. He just instantly died. He just instantly died. Fantastic. Now we have 1 target left, and once his Seiya is done, then he's basically done. There's no way he can ever kill me. Actually, there's no way he can kill me already. Even though Seiya is good, he just does not have the burst damage to go through the Vine and to go through Marine's big heal. Alright, let's see if we can get rid of him. Make sure you attack him and not his summon. If you kill his summon, he's just gonna summon it back. So click on Seiya himself. Almost done. I'm tempted to finish him. Ah, no finish. Oh, he absorbed the summon and heal. Did you see that? That's a pretty interesting mechanic he has. He has some self-sustain as well. Alright, 1 more, and I think this the Seiya should die here. And then I'll probably just cut to the end of the fight because there's not much interesting left to do here. Nice. We can actually just auto at this point because Silence Girl, if you select Marina as a target, then Silence Girl is going to silence her, she won't be able to heal, and eventually we're going to win. Yeah, okay, or we just do it in 1 turn and do... What did we do? 40,000 damage? Did we do 41,000 damage? That is ridiculous. Kiki kills Kiki, some Kiki on Kiki violence. My Kiki's better because he's Mexican, he's got a guitar, he's a freaking hero. Alright guys, so that's it. That's how you use MILO. Like I said, he's amazing in Legion boss as well. You can use him in PvE, you can use him in PvP, anytime that you want to one-shot something. Sometimes it doesn't work, as you saw, sometimes he doesn't one-shot, but if you bring a good team to surround him and support him, he will eventually win pretty much any fight for you. You can also use him to try to one-shot bosses over here in the Epic Ruins, in Titans, and in Dimension. That's how I've been able to clear these levels, most of these levels. You may have to try a few times because, like I said, he may not proc, but when he does, you have the chance of one-shotting the boss, which is really cool. It makes the whole fight a lot easier, and it's how I've been able to open up all those levels. And that's gonna be it for today, guys. I hope you can use the guide. I hope you have fun playing with your MILO because he is one of the most fun units in the game. Tomorrow on stream, we'll be picking the winner. I was supposed to do it today, and then I totally forgot because the stream was very exciting. So tomorrow we'll be picking the winner for the giveaway on stream, and then I'll announce it in tomorrow night's video, which is a hilarious video that what happened today on stream when we jumped back on our SEA account. We had some really fun moments trying to do, what is it called? Astral Space, or whatever. Anyway, tomorrow's video you'll have the giveaway winner. If you want to be there live, then make sure you go follow on Twitch, and then maybe you'll be there when we pick you, and you're the winner, and it'll be awesome. Alright, have an awesome rest of the day. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!